Hello everyone, welcome to The Hindu. The first season of Made in Heaven was widely acclaimed. I want to ask all of you, of all the weddings that Tara and Karan organized in the first season, was there a particular story or a conflict that really resonated with you that you guys remember from the first season and that touched a chord all the stories that we see individually and the episodes?
For me, I think I remember the Shweta Tripathi episode. For me, I don't know why suddenly it struck so deeply. Like, I don't know why I remember that very vividly.
It delves into dowry and
Yeah.
yeah.
The way also it's made and the way the conflict came out, that one I remember it more. Yeah.
I think that one and there's this wedding. I think third episode, Deepti Nawalji's wedding.
Right.
So we still kind of, I think we have inhibitions when it's about the older couple, when kids can't accept happy ending for their parents. They want their parents to live their lives a certain way. Like, now you have turned old, now you should behave a particular way because you should. So I think that where the kids eventually come with the peace ki, okay, we can accept our parents the way they are, and they are also allowed to find that love in their life. I think that was a beautiful memory for me.
Alankrita?
For me, it's very hard
Right.
because I've written the show.
Right.
So I would not want to choose one because, we really had planned what all we want to show, in what graph, what order. So
But you must be proud of one, let's say.
I'm proud of the whole show. It's very hard. So
No, especially.
I wouldn't want to pick because I feel like, there was a reason, we thought through everything a lot. Nothing, not a single thing was random, not a single wedding or where it was placed was random. So I think it was like, it was meant to be a graph and sort of what happens. But I think, of course, the episode that is overall closest to me is the finale. Not only because I directed it, but I think because, I think it kind of pulled off all the layers of all the characters, and even the wedding was like that what is this wedding? And so I think for me, that the finale of season 1 is something that I think I'm very proud of, and also I think it's something that has sort of really stayed with me, but not just because of the wedding, because I feel like everything kind of reached its culmination point, and I thought that, so I think maybe just because it was like the whole season ending, all the characters finding, we took all the characters where we needed them to go by the end of the season, so yeah.
Having played Tara, who's really at the eye of the whirlpool, I think you have a perspective that's like bird's eye view, but at the same time you're right in the middle of it. What resonated most with me and really touched me was actually the journey of the MIH crew, their graph, because I feel like they're in the midst of making these happily ever afters happen for people while dealing with their realities, which are not so vanilla, not so perfect. So the contrast of perhaps they're having a really difficult day in their home or in their personal space where love seems like a very distant dream, and yet they come to work and make somebody's life, give them that dream, and I think that is, I think, so beautiful.
In fact, one of my favorite tracks, let's say, for Karan and Tara is how, they are progressive, let's say, in their own worldview. And they see the world a certain way, but they come up against these really toxic undercurrents that are going on around these weddings, and they want to do right by it, but there's often that, that point that they can't cross because they are professionals, and, this is a transactional equation that they have as wedding planners. Do you find that aspect of the show fascinating, of how they emotionally, on one side, are reacting to a situation, and the other side is the reality of, being wedding planners and how much they
Absolutely. There is that, and also the fact that their complex realities, the political undercurrents of a wedding, the families, and somewhere, as much as they wish well for the couple or the families, if it is going to come at the cost of their job, or they know what to push for. So somewhere between the hustle and their loud beating hearts, they find their dance.
Right.
Yeah.
Something I also feel very strongly about Made in Heaven, which is a very all take. I think Made in Heaven is about companionship. I feel Tara and Karan, the characters, if you see, they're true soulmates, and and they are not a romantic couple.
Right.
And I feel that is what struck me very hard with season 1, and now also season 2, is that you can find people who don't have to be related to you, who don't have to be romantically related to you. They can't be your partners, but still you find that companionship with people. I think the show at a larger level talks about that.
Right.
We can be imperfect, we can be dysfunctional, but when we are together, we make a good yin and yang, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I know the pandemic hobbled the production of the second season a lot. This doesn't apply to Neeraj because he's new in this world, but having found a kind of a groove with everyone, with the directors, with the other actors, rest of the crew in the first season, did that help through that period when the show was being mounted, the second season?
Definitely. I think that, I was just saying that going back on the set for season 2 really felt like coming back home, back to a family where we had already spent so much time together. But of course, I think the fact that we had done a season together really did help us tide through the long period that it took. It took us long to write this new season. It took us long to mount it, and it took us a long time to shoot it, even to edit it, because these are like it's like a lot of material. So I do think that having had that base from season 1 definitely helped. I think a lot of, it was so everyone was so familiar, and I think that familiarity really definitely it was good to have that. And I have to say that even Neeraj hadn't directed in season 1, but it really never felt like he's just
Yeah,
come.
same here.
Like
I never
he
felt
was
like I was
always
new.
like, it was like he's always been part of things. And even the new cast that joined, I thought it was quite easy to for them to assimilate as well. So I think we make a good team.
Right. But then, Shoni, there's a beautiful conversation happening in the tracks, let's say, between your characters in a distant way, because she's transitioning into a world and entering into a world that is glitzy, that is classy, and she comes from a different Delhi, and and as we see Tara's layers peel off, we see that she's been through that. You guys don't have much too many scenes together, but what has been your relationship working with Shivani on this series?
I think we have really grown in our relationship with each other from season 1 and the middle towards the second one. I think I have come into my own as a person much more through and since after the lockdown, and I have a little more clarity about who I am or how I want to be, and I think a lot of my inhibitions have come down, and that has allowed me to bond with others in a much more honest way, and that has happened with Shivani the most. In the entirety of second season. I found that I was able to be completely transparent with her, not because I think she will not judge me, but because her judgment will not make me feel diminished. And that's a wonderful place to be in, and maybe that's what they call friendship. I have found that with her, and somewhere...
Match made in heaven.
Yeah.
When you were saying about the companion, I was constantly staring at her.
And I think sisterhood, female friendships are heavily underrated or perhaps underrepresented. Jazz and Tara are, I think, somewhere creatures of the same world, cut from the same cloth, just different ends of it.
Right. I also love the fact that, and it's one of my inadvertent pleasures I get out of the show, is the sort of unexpected reunions that keep going on inside the show, like people who love Titli, the film that you've done with Shashank.
Yeah.
It's lovely how it resonates. Also, that memory between your tracks. I know Ishwak Singh is joining in the new season, and Jim is there. I'm going to look forward to that because they've done a lovely show together. Yeah, tell us a little bit about also about Sobhita and also about Shashank.
But there's one more. I think it's a very strange thing made in heaven now, because we need a lot of actors, because there are weddings happening, there's something or something. So I remember this is a very funny incident. So last year we had Rasika. Okay, this year we had Mukul Chadha, Rasika's husband. So he's like, अगर मैं इस सीजन में नहीं आता ना तो मैं अगले सीजन में तो definitely आ जाता, because you after a point I think Made in Heaven में ना सारे actors होंगे, because you need so many actors, like at least You need 50
The
actors.
whole industry will be.
Eventually,
Yeah.
will be a part of our show.
Of the crazy guest list that you have this time of guest appearances, who was the hardest to get on board? And
See, this is a very producer question because they go into the haggling, they go into the convincing part of it because we look at it creatively, we discuss with casting, and once they're on board, I think to get them on board is production.
Anurag
I mean,
was
all
on,
the-
I'm guessing. Like he loves cameos.
I mean,
No comment.
you'll see. I don't know.
Right. Who was the funniest, Alankrita? Like of all the people who came and guested
In
on the
a
show?
guest appearance. Oh, I don't want to say it by spoiling it, but
Don't say it, don't say it.
I won't say it. But you know, when you see the show, you will know that I'll only give you one clue. He's in one of Neeraj's episodes.
It's in the trailer, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
he is
I
the
can
funniest.
imagine.
I'm not giving it away anything further than that, but I think he is, for me, in this season, he's the most delightful cameo. He's like, well, RK, he's just making everyone happy.
But not just on screen,
Yeah,
off
off
screen
screen
as
also.
well. He is very funny.
He's
But
very-
all the actors who come into season 2, apart from MIH crew and the ones continuing from before, they've come in with so much love for the first season that it's a space that's filled with such encouragement and excitement for each other and love for the world of Made in Heaven. So I think it's really been a joyride.
Right. I'll end with this. The institution of marriage is, very given a lot of centrality in our society, but it's also bundled up with class, with patriarchy, with so much of social pretense that people have to keep up with. Was it gratifying to see how strongly people have responded to the show and how open our society also is, to examine something that otherwise is considered very sanctimonious and otherwise considered very holy for a lot of people?
Yes, I think it was very, very gratifying. It was very, I think we got it was also very encouraging because honestly, when we were writing Made in Heaven season 1 and shooting it and making it, we really didn't know how it'll go down because, weddings are something that Indians, we are
Right,
so
yeah.
close to the idea of this beautiful wedding and we are waiting for like that, it's just like it's a momentous occasion in every family and because we were using the event of the wedding as the prism through which to see life, we really were not sure as to how it'll go down, but I think we were so encouraged by how seen people felt, how heard they felt, how they sort of related to the stories. So it was at two levels. One was, relating to the protagonists who are the Made in Heaven crew and to their sort of insider-outsider journey. And the other was the episodic stories of the weddings of what actually goes on. So I think the kind of resonance that Made in Heaven had in India and also all over the world was something that we were absolutely not expecting. But having got that love and encouragement, I think it really helped us and motivated us to work harder for season 2 in terms of digging deeper into the themes that were already at the core of Made in Heaven season 1. To look at things with more complexity, make things more nuanced and layered, and like Neeraj has been saying, to sort of look within, not just look outside, but to look within and question oneself. So I think the love of Made in Heaven really empowered us to do Made in Heaven season 2.
I actually feel marriage as an institution, the way Made in Heaven looks at it is, it dispels the whole idea of it being a endogamous monolith.
Right.
It breaks it down, and that's what I like about it, that you celebrate various kinds, and it doesn't have to be like always perfect, and which is why I think it resonates with so many people who want to be part of that, but they can't. It's like a very aspirational gaze at it, that we wish we had this. I think that's why also maybe it resonates so much.
Shruti, you want to add something? And do you have a strong feedback from that time that you remember? Let's say someone said something about the show that you really liked that people responded to.
I think a lot of queer folk feeling represented is something I feel very, very honored about, to be a part of something that gave them comfort, gave them a bridge to like I've had experiences where like a young boy had come up to me and said that, after watching this show along with his family, he was able to come out as queer to them. And this show was a bridge that helped him have that conversation. Those are moments that make me feel so touched. And women, and somewhere I read that Sobhita's content is for the girls, gays, thems and theys. And I thought that was a charming compliment.
Lovely. All the best
It's a
for Made in
huge
Heaven season 2.
compliment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.